Welcome back, folks. Today I'm going to show you what it's like to go on a camping trip. You're going to come along as we hook up, set up at the campground, do our camping thing, and you're going to be able to determine by the end of this video if this is something that you want to get into or if camping is just not for you. Step one is going to be pretty simple. We're going to have to go ahead and hook up the trailer to the truck. This is going to look a little bit different depending on what you're towing with, but for most vehicles, it will be pretty similar. You're going to have your ball hitch here. This is a 2 5/16 ball, and you're going to have some sort of receiver coupler, all right? So we'll take our lock off, go ahead and open this up, and we're simply going to drop this down all the way until it goes on. Some RVs, you're going to have weight distribution hitches or other gadgets and doodads, but we'll cover that in a separate video someday. For now, we're just going to talk about hooking this up. All right, and once this comes off the ground, we're going to wait until it is high enough to where it won't wind up scraping on the ground. Good enough. Put our blocks away. Now, very important step when you're hitching up any trailer, make sure you close your coupler latch and put your pin or your lock back in first. The reason I do this is because if I get distracted and walk away, and for some reason I'm irresponsible and I forget to hook up anything else, I've at least got the trailer properly attached to the ball, right? Now, obviously we want to take our safety chains and hook those up. They simply go right on the tow hook points. You want to make sure they're crossed. So the driver's side chain is coming to the passenger side hook and vice versa. Now that those are hooked up, we're going to take our power brake wire, make sure it's not looped under the chain like mine apparently was, and we're going to plug that in. And then lastly, this is your trailer breakaway cable. This is in the event that all of this other stuff somehow fails and your trailer comes off the truck. Pretty unlikely, but it technically can happen. A lot of people don't like hooking this up to the trailer hitches. They like to hook it up to the frame of the truck. I'll be honest with you, I always hook mine to the trailer hitch because I figure if the hitch rips off my truck, my 3/4 ton truck, I feel like I got a lot bigger problems. So anyway, that's controversial, but whatever. Now, whenever you've parked your camper, you should have the wheels chalked like I do here. So make sure before you drive away, you take away these wheel chocks, or you're gonna have to drive over them, and that's not really good for the wheel chocks or your tow vehicle or the tires in the trailer. Now that we're all hooked up, I'm gonna do a final walk around of everything to make sure we're actually ready to go drive this thing. On this walk around, I'm looking for just general tire pressures. I have the tire pressure monitors in the truck, so I'll know for sure. Just make sure there's no like obviously flat tires. I'll recheck my hitching setup again, right? Check my chains, check my power wire, all that kind of stuff. For example, I need to turn the propane on for the refrigerator. So like that's something that's easy to forget to do, right? And then you'll wind up not having all your stuff cold in your fridge. I'm gonna walk down the driver's side here. I'm taking note of the fact that I need to put the stairs up. I know I've already checked them. I know I've got good pressure in my tires on the trailer. I also know that I've got good pressure on the spare. And I come around the back here and oh, I gotta unplug the power and make sure I take the power cord with me. You know, again, I'll check these tires, make sure there's no like sewer line stuff hanging out or anything like that. So just kind of giving everything a good once over. Check any awnings for like over your slides or the regular main awning, make sure it's fully retracted, all that kind of stuff. Make sure all of your jacks are up so they don't scrape on the ground if you hit uneven terrain. And just in general, make sure there aren't things falling off the trailer. So like this extra sewer tube that I have, sewer pipe tube, make sure that's not falling off. That was an accessory I added. Make sure your spare tire's not falling off. I actually give this a wiggle because I had this come loose one time, so just stuff like that. Ideally with a partner, you can check all of your lights, brake lights, running lights on the sides. Good to check the tow vehicle's running lights and brake lights too. I've done that pretty recently, and I'll give them a quick glance before we leave here in a minute. You may roll your eyes at the checking the lights thing, but I want to show you something. It's more important than you think because these trailer connectors are not very weatherproof on either side. The pins are just kind of hanging out to get dirt and debris in them. So these fail very often, actually. They fail much more often than like a brake light would on your car or something. So just keep in mind if you're new to towing, this is always a weak point in the towing setup. So you just have to keep an eye on that. And on that note, once you're satisfied, you know that everything is safe and ready to go, you can go ahead and start your trip. And for these first couple minutes, even if you're just moving your trailer around your yard and in your neighborhood, go easy on your tow vehicle. The engine and the transmission are still warming up. You don't want to just pull out and floor it. And just like that, we move on to the towing section of this video. We're going to navigate these steep city hills, and we'll get back to you guys when we're on the highway. And just like that, we are on the interstate. I have a ton of videos about towing on the interstate, a bunch of different advice. You can feel free to watch those, but super high level. You're going to want to generally stay in the slow lane, generally go about 70 at most towing a trailer, because you're a lot heavier and braking distances can be longer, wind can affect you more, all that kind of stuff. Make sure you can make sure your mirrors are adjusted well so you can see what you need to see, and you should be fine. Definitely drive a little extra defensively with all this extra weight as well. One of the best parts about RVing is finding a random parking lot to eat lunch in, not have to go to a restaurant and spend a bunch of money. Hey everyone, we are coming up to our campground. This is Coastal Acres in Provincetown, Mass, which is on Cape Cod.
It's like 76.
Okay.
So your car pass, it just stays on your dashboard. And then if you take the truck out and come back, just hold it up so we know it's you.
Okay.
Although the best way to get around P-Town really is to bike and walk, because parking's challenging.
Okay. I want you to just spot me. Just make sure I don't hit anything. I want to get as close to this side as possible with the slide still coming out. All right, so once you arrive at your destination, we're gonna back this bad Jackson up. Anybody who's RV'd knows that backing in your trailer can be grounds for a divorce. So make sure you kind of brainstorm how you're going to do this with your partner so that that doesn't happen. I can make a whole separate video on backing up a trailer, but the number one piece of advice I would give is tell your spotter to give directions based on driver or passenger. So that meaning that you need to move the trailer toward the driver's side or the passenger side, not left and right, because that changes with people's perspectives and it gets very confusing. So now we are going to level this bad guy. Hey, who locked this? Oh, that was me. That's right. Oh, I'll just pull up onto these. That should be plenty of distance. All right, so we're gonna pull onto the leveling blocks because our front level here is conveniently telling us that we're not level. And, oh, I'm about to fall. That will put our door not against this tree, which would be nice to get the door to about here. I may want to go a little bit further up than that actually, so I'm going to probably do that. Boone Bear, hey, come here. Can you sit? Hey, Boone, can you sit? Can you sit? Can you jump on me? Okay, all right. All right, so now that you've made it, first thing you're going to want to do is get all your safety mechanisms in place. So the first thing is wheel chocks. That's the number one most important. Mine are conveniently located just out of reach in the bed of the truck. Okay. Oh, that wasn't a fart, I swear. It was the suspension. Okay. For maximum stability, you should really do this on both sides. They also make these X-shaped clamp things that go in between your tires. I do none of that and just deal with the fact it's not as stable. Right or wrong, that is my method. Ready to reverse our hitching process. I like to start with unlocking that because if for some reason that lock doesn't come off, then I may have to like tow this thing somewhere or figure something out. So I don't exactly want to start off by taking everything else off first. And then I like to put gloves on because while I'm on vacation, I don't want my hands to look black like they usually do because I'm always working on stuff. So anywho, throw our blocks back under, make sure that they're stable-ish. I try to follow the slope of the ground, whatever direction that's in. And then we put our jack down. In the meantime, if you want to be efficient about it, we can start taking off all of the other associated things. Got a nice armpit shot there. Hold on, folks. Breakaway cable, the chains. But when it starts to lift up, you're gonna wanna stop until you're done because you don't want your face hanging out over all this stuff when it's actually lifting up. Luckily, I beat it to the punch. So just stand back as this goes up, just in case things rock and roll and move a little bit. You don't wanna be in any pinch points. And sometimes I'll give the truck a little bounce to try to help that hitch come out. It'll eventually do its thing, but yeah. It's tempting to put a foot on that, but again, I don't like to put my feet near the pinch points. And we will go up until we're level. Tell me when. You didn't tell me when.
I know, it's not there yet. Oh, you had passed it.
Yeah, we passed it.
A little more. When?
I like to relock this because technically somebody could tow you away in the middle of the night, which will never happen, but you know, why not? All right, so now we're gonna put all the stabilizer jacks down. I like to get them kind of close, and then I will put blocks under them because the further the jack is extended out, the less stable it is. So I like to just give them a little bit of a boost. You can give them a good little hit. You really shouldn't use an impact gun on this technically. I've never had an issue, but you know, beware, I suppose. And we're gonna do that on all four. And one thing I wanna note is when you use this impact gun, if it's nighttime or anywhere close to nighttime, don't be a bad neighbor. Try not to make it super loud. So for example, you know, do the trigger lightly, use like a lower setting mode. That's a lot quieter than this, but it's like, you know, 2 p.m., so I'm not too worried about it right now. And we'll go do the back. We'll now take our power cord. Some campers have this integrated, mine does not. Pop the cover off. It's a 3-prong plug. We're gonna line it up. We're gonna push it in. Apparently there we go. And then rotate it slightly. And then you can screw this locking collar on. I'll be honest with you, these are industrial style plugs, and in industry they don't have a collar, but that luckily worked out, so I can hold that up. That would have kind of sucked if that didn't work out, but we'll toss our cable into the camper. We're gonna plug this guy in. Plug this guy in right here and turn the 30 amp breaker on. That is the one that we need for this camper, right there. These are usually off, so you'll have to flip them up to turn them on. And then we can close that cover. It's okay if it rests a little bit open, not a big deal. And then just for trip hazard's sake, this got kind of messy real quick on me all of a sudden, but whatever. We'll just chuck that under there. Not a big deal. Nobody can see it anyway. All right, now we'll hook up our water filter and hose. And I also have a pressure regulator. Some campgrounds have really high water pressure and you'll want to adjust this so you don't blow the lines out of your camper. Usually not a problem, but it can't hurt to have. Then we hook into our city water connection. We don't need gloves for this. They were just on from before. We'll go back, turn the water on, check for leaks. I have my low point drain open, so we're gonna have to close these. And then that way we're not gonna be peeing water out everywhere. You'll likely, if you have a hot water heater, not an instant on heater, you'll need to bleed the hot water heater, the air out of it. So you're gonna pull this little knob here. You can hear the air hissing out of it, and it'll eventually start getting water through it, and then you'll be pretty much good. You can do this with the faucet too, but I just like to do it out here. Come on. I like to stand here because you don't want to just pee water all over your stuff. And close that back up, and then our hot water heater's got water in it. All right, this is the part that scares everyone. It's not that bad. Unscrew your sewer. Take your sewer plug thingy. We're gonna screw this in so it doesn't want to pop out on us. Sometimes these don't really thread in, but don't worry about that. It really won't go anywhere. Yeah, these threads must be different or too low or something, but it's really not a big deal. This nifty little bumper storage for the poop hose. Pull that guy out, put our bumper cap back on. All right, now we'll come over here, gingerly open this cap. Make sure the gray tank, which is your sinks and shower, and your black tank, which is your toilet, are both closed. Be careful pulling that off in case a valve is broken or something. Screw that guy on. Come over here. This is the exact same style fitting. We're gonna screw this one on, and that's it. All right, so for the first few days of your trip, depending on how long you're staying, you can pull the gray one open. What that'll do is it'll allow your shower, I had some stuff in there, it'll allow your shower to drain. You can take as long of a shower as you want without filling the tank. But a couple days in, you should close that so that you can fill your gray tank for when you flush the black, which we'll talk about later. You can then flush out the poop water with the soapy sink water and shower water. All right, now we've already done it, but we'll then put the slide out, which is that button right there. And then you can put your awning out. However, our awning is not going to clear that tree, so we're gonna leave it in for now. But other than that, we're pretty much set up. Get your towels out, get your garbage set up, clean up from the mess of traveling, and you're good to go. All right, now that we're back in our tow vehicle, in my case, I'm gonna put the mirrors back in. You may need to take off your extended mirrors or do whatever you gotta do there. I'm gonna reposition this so that I can open the tailgate and get the items out of the back. And this is the really fun part about RVing. So if you got a pickup truck or an SUV with a lot of space, you've got plenty of room to bring a bunch of toys that you're not gonna bring if you're just got a small car or you're flying somewhere, or you're staying at an Airbnb that's maybe not that big. So take advantage of this. And if you're gonna go through all the effort to tow your home somewhere, bring all the goodies with you. For us on this little journey here, we wound up taking the truck out on the sand, which was super cool. Having kind of a big heavy duty tow rig allowed us to go do this off-roading, which is a nice little side benefit of having a camper, again, as opposed to having a small car. And then as you can see here, we did some nice motorcycle riding around Provincetown and the surrounding areas. So that's how we chose to spend our time. We did a bunch of walking. We're going to do some biking. We didn't get around to it. But yeah, I mean, just you can make of it what you want. You can make your own food and just kind of chill out and relax. So that finishes off this video. We're here. We enjoyed our vacation and hope this helped. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Marty, did you know you have a crack in this?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, was that me?